Hello and welcome back to Country Mama Musings. I'm here in my craft room in my 1902 farmhouse, and today we are working on block 36 for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along, and this little square is called Little Crowns. They have all of these little picots. They're so adorable the way that they pop out of our square. I think you're going to really love working on this little square for your Afghan. So grab your supplies and let's get started. We're going to be using our size H crochet hook and whatever color you've determined to be color C for your Heirloom Afghan. For me, that is this beautiful color of teal. So let's get started for block 36, and it's called Little Crowns. We're going to start with a slip knot, leaving a nice long tail to sew into our work later, and go ahead and get that onto our hook. And we're going to chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 28, 29, and 30. So here is our beginning chain of 30 for block 36. I love how this one is named Little Crowns. I can't wait to see what this looks like once we get our pattern started. So let's move on to row 1. For row 1, we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, not counting the loop that's already on our hook. Here's 1, 2, 3, and here's the 4th one. Here we're going to place a double crochet there in that stitch. There we go. And according to our pattern, we're going to place a double crochet in the very next stitch after that. So right here in our next chain, we're going to place a double crochet. Okay, now this is where the meat of the pattern really starts. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to single crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So not counting this loop here, count down these 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in this stitch right here, this chain, we're going to insert our hook, pull our yarn through, and complete a single crochet. This makes a nice little knob. It's called a picot. So we're going to make picots as we work across our chain. We're going to skip the next 2 chains down here. So skip 1, skip 2. We're going to double crochet in the next 3 chains. Skip 1, skip 2, and let's do 3 double crochets after that. So here's that next chain. So here's the first double crochet. 1, a double crochet in the very next chain after that. There's 2, and a double crochet in the next chain after that. There's 3. There we go. Now we're going to do that picot over again. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to count back to the 3rd chain and complete a single crochet. 1, 2, 3 right here, and complete a single crochet, creating our little picot. Skipping the next 2 chains, 1, 2, and then going to the next chain after that and completing a double crochet. Here's 1, and then we need 2 more. So in the next chain over, a second double crochet. There we go. And in the next chain over, another double crochet. There we go. We're going to make our picot again. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, placing a single crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, that's down right here, was the very first chain we made. Completing a single crochet into that chain makes our picot. Skip a chain down here, skip another chain down here, and in the very next chain after that, we're going to place a double crochet. There's 1, a double crochet in the very next chain. There's 2, and a double crochet in the very next chain after that. There's 3. So every time we complete our 3 double crochets, we're going to follow that with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and completing our picot by making a single crochet in that very first chain that we made there. And that makes our little picot. Skip 1, skip 2, place a double crochet in the very next chain after that. We want a double crochet in the next chain as well, and a double crochet in the next chain after that. There we go. So there's our 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and complete our picot by placing our hook in the very first chain and completing a single crochet. We're going to skip 2, and then we're going to complete 3 double crochets here in the very last 3 chains. So skipping this chain and skipping this chain, going to the 3rd chain over and place a double crochet in that chain there. It gets a little tricky when you get to the end of your row when you're working with that chain. There's 1, a double crochet in the very next chain. There's 2, and right here in your very last chain, place a double crochet. And there's 3. Let's take a look at row 1 and see how this looks. This is a pretty little stitch. This is going to be beautiful in your Afghan. So starting out where we skipped our chains, that creates a double crochet. So we have 3 double crochets here. At the end, we have 3 double crochets. So we have the mirror image on each side of our work, just like we want. We have these sets of 3 double crochets in the center, and then we have our picots in the middle. We should have 5 picots. So that completes row 1. Let's move on to row 2 of little crowns. I think these are our little crowns. Aren't those cute? Let's move on to row 2. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our heirloom Afghan crochet along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. For row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and according to our pattern, this counts as our first double crochet now and throughout. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. This is your first double crochet. Don't double crochet in it because you've already chained up and that counts as a double crochet. We're going to want to place a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So this one here and this one here. So in the next double crochet, we're going to place a double crochet. And then in the next double crochet, we're going to place a double crochet. Now we're going to go right into making another picot. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to place our hook into the very first chain that we made right there and complete a single crochet. That makes our picot. We're going to skip over this picot, and we've got these 3 stitches here. We're going to go to the first stitch, this first double crochet after our picot, go into that stitch and complete a double crochet. Go to the next stitch and complete a double crochet, and go to the next stitch and complete a double crochet. So we have in a row 3 double crochets. We're going to make another picot. Our picots will be stacked right on top of each other, even though they're a little bit offset, I think. 1, 2, 3 chains, single crochet into your first chain, creating that picot. Skip over your picot and go right here to your 3 double crochets, placing 1 double crochet in each. So here's 1, 2, and 3. go. Chain 3 to create our picot. Placing our hook into that first chain, grabbing our yarn and pulling it through and completing a single crochet. There's our picot that's been made. We're going to skip over the picot from the prior round and place a double crochet in each of the double crochet across. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Chain 3 to make our picot. Placing our hook into that first chain and grabbing our yarn and pulling it through, completing a single crochet, and that completes the picot. Skipping over the picot from the round before, not round, row, and going into our double crochets and completing 1 double crochet in each one here in this grouping of 3. So there's 2, and into the next stitch that makes 3. 1 more picot to go. 1, 2, 3 chains. Placing our hook into our first chain, pulling our yarn through, and completing that single crochet. Skipping over the picot from the row before, we've got our last 3 double crochets here from row 1. Remembering that our chains right here, this actually counts as a double crochet. So right here is our first double crochet that we're going to place. Go to the next stitch and complete a double crochet. And go to this chain up right here. We're going to place a double crochet right at the top of that, making sure you go through 2 strands of yarn when you do that. And there is the end of row 2. So you can see that once again we have our groupings of 3 double crochet, and then we've got the little picots. As we work the picots, look how they kind of pop out to the front. Those are very cute. And as you work it, we'll see how these little picots, if they stay offset or do they align. I don't know. We'll have to find that out as we work our square. So what we're going to do now is we're going to repeat row 2 until our square measures approximately 6.5 inches in height. So just continue on working row 2, and I'll catch up with you when we get really close to the end so we can check to see how things are looking as far as size. Row 2 again, we're going to start that with a chain 3. I'm just going to go through a couple of stitches with you, and then I'll leave you to finish it. Turn your work. We've already got this here counting as a double crochet, so we just want to double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet in the next stitch. That makes 3, because this is going to count as a double crochet. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, placing our hook in that first chain that we just did, pulling our yarn back through and completing a single crochet, making a picot. Skip over the picot. You're going to go to these 3 double crochet right here, and you're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch across. So here's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. And that's it. We're just going to continue the pattern as we go, and I will meet up with you once our block is the approximate size. We'll measure it up against an earlier block from the Afghan. So I'll see you there. Okay, we have repeated row 2 several times, and we have all of our little picots here creating our little crowns block. Look how pretty. And just as we said earlier, they are offset a little bit. What I really like is on one side you've got the little picots that stick out. If you brush them this way, almost like one of those little sequins little pillows, they all pop up. But if you flip it over and you do the reverse, you've got them popping out on the other side as well. Every other row pops out on either side of the block. So that is a fun little block. We have one more row to complete because we don't want to end this on a row of picots. We want this to end with a solid row across so that we have a solid edge, just like we have along all of the other 3 sides. We don't want just the picots at the top. So for our last row, we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. We're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. So just like before, we're going to double crochet in this next stitch here and double crochet in this next stitch here. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to double crochet the next 3. We're going to skip right over this picot and just place 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 2 and 3. No more picots, just a chain 2. Skip over the picot and place a double crochet in each of the next 3 double crochet. And we're going to work this all the way to the end, and I will meet up with you there. And here we are at our final 3 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and then we've got our chain up here that we're going to double crochet into for 3. And that is the end of our block. Let's go ahead and grab a block from an earlier week and see how this measures up. I think we're pretty good. Look right here. Very, very close. Once this is blocked, or once we sew them together, they should fit together nicely. So I'm happy with that size. Now don't finish off your color C. You're going to want to complete round 1 of your edging with color C. I'll make sure I put an iCard up here in this video so you can find that video for the tutorial for the edging for these squares, or it's in the playlist, so just look for edging. Once you complete round 1 with your color of your block, finish off and then complete round 2 in your joining color, whatever color you've decided to join all of your blocks with. Once you get your edging on, there's only one thing left to do. Get yourself a little tag and write on here block 36 little crowns and color C, and go ahead and place that on your block and set it aside with all of your other blocks until you're ready to put your Afghan together. Okay friends, that's all for this week. Thank you for joining me for week 36 for our little crowns block. I think it is absolutely adorable. It's going to look beautiful in our Afghan. Come back next week for block 37, the popcorn braid. That one should be fun. Until I see you again here in my craft room, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.